Alright, is this thing on? Yes, it is. Let me get situated here. It's been a little bit since I've done any game recording. So this is Monster Train. It's the deck builder that I've been quite obsessed with, actually, in the last week. I think it's been out now. It's a fairly new game. If you've never played a deck builder before, it's pretty straightforward. You're building a deck. You're always going to start off with a basic deck, and then you build on that deck to hopefully defeat the final boss. This game's a roguelite, and to simplify that, it pretty much just means every time you play, it's a run, and if you die, it's permanent, you have to start over. If you win, you have to start over. And in either situation, you're going to have earned something that you can use on the next run. And everything is randomized. So when you start a new run, you have absolutely no idea what to expect in terms of what things you're going to be presented with to choose from. Sometimes the enemies rotate. In this game, they always do. So your deck is always going to be totally different, and the game sort of forces you to be creative with what it gives you to choose from. Let's just jump into it. That'll make it a little bit easier to explain. So in this particular deck builder, you choose between two starting decks. You have a primary and a secondary. So there's 5 of them. Actually, you start off with 2, and then you unlock these other ones as you play. They call them clans, but that's the word in this game for deck. Your primary clan comes with a champion. That's this unit you see in the front. Those unit cards and spell cards, I'll show you that in a second. But your champion is always going to be like your best unit to play. And then the guy you see in the back, he's just kind of like the best secondary unit of that deck, pretty much. Usually, I think it's all the defensive units. Like if I change my primary clan, see how primary is Hellhorned, allied, which is secondary, is Awoken. If I made primary Awoken, I get a different champion, and then Hellhorned is now this is the defensive unit from the Hellhorned clan, basically. Probably explaining too much right now for it to make any sense. This last option is just every time you beat a run, you unlock these covenant ranks, and the higher the rank, the more difficult and more modified the run's going to be. We're just going to shut that off for now. Let's just jump into it. I'm going to skip over some things that won't make sense until you see how battle works. There are 2 things you do in this game at the beginning of a run, and it's upgrade your champion. We have a choice of 2 upgrades. I'm going to pick multi-strike. I'll explain that once we're actually in battle. And then we choose an artifact. Every roguelite game always has these artifacts. It doesn't even have to be a deck builder. If it's a roguelite game, every run will have these little passive bonuses. So you choose one, and it's going to apply for the rest of the game. For now, I'm going to go ahead and let's choose. This is actually a pretty good artifact. If you read the description, wait, let's jump into battle first, and then I'll explain what that artifact does. So before you start a battle, you'll see which champion you're going to be fighting and the enemies that he sends out before you fight the champion. You'll fight him in the final wave. Some bosses or champions, you'll fight them, you'll see them throughout the waves before you get to the final wave, but that's kind of rare. Trial is like an additional bonus you can take if you want to make the game more difficult. We're also going to shut that off for right now. Alright, we're finally into a battle. So what's great about deck building games is that everything's going to be explained in one screen. You just kind of hover over it to see what it is, what it does. The first time I ever played a deck builder, I had to sit here and read the cards and understand what they do before I got the hang of things to where it became second nature. We'll keep things simple. You are on a train traveling through Monsterland. I actually haven't really read a lot of the lore. I've heard it's quite rich, actually. Your train has 4 cars. They're stacked, so the enemies will enter through the bottom car. If you don't defeat the enemies, they're going to proceed to the next train car. And you can place your units anywhere on the train, or cast spells anywhere on the train. The object of the game is to keep the enemies from reaching the top train car, which has your pyre. The pyre is your number one thing that you're protecting. The values under it, it has 80 health, and it deals 20 damage. So if the enemies end up in this room, they're at least going to be taking damage from the pyre, and hopefully the pyre kills them before they kill it. If it runs out of health, the run's over. Now if you look in the upper left, you've got your gold value, you have the pyre health. You can see it here and up here, just in case you're not on the pyre level. You can still see its health and damage from this screen. This button here will show you your deck. You'll see the 15 there because we have 15 cards. You always start in this game with 15 cards. You'll have the champion card. You'll have 5 cards that are from your secondary deck. You'll have 5 cards, they're 5 starter cards from each deck. So these are the 5 starter cards from my primary deck. And then no matter which decks you choose, you have these train stewards. So there's only 2 types of cards in the game. It's either a unit card that'll have its health and damage at the bottom of the card, or it doesn't. If it doesn't have that, it's a spell card. And that's all you really have to remember in terms of differences in cards. No matter what kind of card it is, it'll have a cost at the upper left. So your champion's always free. These restore cards, if I draw them, will cost me 1 to play. The torches will cost me 1 to play. The train stewards are only 1 to play. As you find new cards, if they're really powerful, they'll usually cost more. And you can even upgrade them later to cost less or to be more powerful. So this is the entire deck we've started with. We drew 5 cards. You always draw your champion in your first draw, but the other cards are going to be from a shuffled deck. So there's 15 cards, we drew 5, that leaves right here 10. So here's our draw pile. We can peek at the draw pile. Now these cards are shuffled, so right now they're in order for viewability, but we're gonna draw them at random. We don't actually know how this draw pile is shuffled. That would spoil it. That's the kind of the luck of the draw. But you can at least see what's left from your draw pile. As you play cards, they're gonna end up over here in your discard pile. Once you've played all of your cards, they just get shuffled and you play through them again, which kind of leads a benefit to have fewer cards. Because if you're picky with your cards and you choose really good ones, if you don't choose too many cards, you'll have a slimmer deck and you'll get through those good cards faster and you'll use them more often. But it all depends on how you want to build your deck. I like to build my deck around my champion. I think that's kind of how this game is designed. So any of the Hellhorn cards that I get to choose from are going to benefit my champion or Hellhorn units, and any of my Awoken cards, vice versa. So, how do we kill these units? So the way that a turn works is you have to put down either units or play spells. So right off the bat, we can ice this guy here. He's only got 1 health, and he's going to this torch deals 2 damage. So we can just, he's dead. We still have him to deal with, the Forged Disciple. He's got 25 health, and he's going to deal 2 damage. Well, my Hornbreaker Prince, he's going to deal 12 damage, 6 times 2. This Train Steward will deal 5 damage. I'm going to go ahead and put him down. Now you'll notice, on his health, it's already done the math for us. We don't have to do 6 times 2, even though that's simple. But as you play more units, there's going to be more math to do. It's already done for you. His 2 attack is going to decrease my health by 2. My 12 attacks and decrease his health by 12. No one's going to die here. So it's only going to be 1 turn, and then I'm not going to kill him. He's going to move up. So can we kill him this turn? Let's also put down a Train Steward. I put the Train Steward in front of my champion because I want him to absorb that 2 damage instead of my champion. Because I've got plenty of Train Stewards. I only have 1 champion, and he does 12 damage. Train Steward only does 5. So now we're doing 12 plus 5 is 17. And it sounds like I'm explaining a lot, but once you actually get into the swing of it, you don't even have to think about it anymore. You just look at those values. I'm mostly just explaining how that math is calculated. So it's pretty simple. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 5 is 17. what else can we do? Well, we have... we have more Ember now because of this artifact I picked up. When you summon the second unit, which I did, summon 2 units, I get a bonus of 3 Ember. I can't even use all of that Ember because I only have 2 cards left of my draw. We're going to play a Restore card on my Train Steward and the Torch on my Forged Disciple. So let's start with the Torch. So it's still going to be 17 damage, but since this health is his current health, if I play the Torch, it brings it down to 23. And this 17 is going to be at the end of their turn. Now the Restore card, it restores 2 health, and even though my Train Steward's at max health, I'm not going to get any benefit off of that, but it also applies Regen 1. Now what does that mean? Well, with every single card in this game, if you just hover over it, you see this little pop-up. So that's his Regen that pops up. It tells you what it does. At the end of his turn, he's going to restore 1 health per regen. So let's give him a regen. We didn't get the 2 health benefit because he's already at max health, but we got that regen at the end of the turn that's going to mitigate 1 of those 2 damage. So we have no cards left to play. Let's go ahead and end our turn. And you'll notice the enemy units always go before your placed units. See? And then they go. Alright, so he's got 6 health left. Alright, so what just happened? We ended our turn. Now the next wave came through. The previous wave moved up. And then every once in a while you'll see these little collectors, these little golden cherubs that if you kill them, they're worth 50 gold. How can I deal with this cherub and this disciple here with the same unit? Well, since if I don't put anything down here, he's going to move up. Why don't I just put a unit up here, my Train Steward. So here, before I do that, notice next to his health there's a little exclamation point. That's because, so if I kill him, his Extinguish is to give me 50 gold. His Resolve, it even tells you what Resolve means, triggers after combat. He flees. So if I don't kill him, he flees. So let me make sure he can't flee. Now that exclamation point turned into a red X. He's dead because his 1 health is going to be obliterated by the 5 damage of the Steward. And he doesn't attack, so the Steward's not going to take any damage from him. So boom, he's going to kill the cherub, and then this guy's going to enter up here and fight my Steward. So we'll worry about that when we get there. Let's worry about this bottom train car. You'll see he's going to take 12 damage, which is weird because 6 times 2 is 12, but also 5 from my Train Steward should be 17. The reason why it's not 17 is because this trusted priest here heals for 5. So if we go ahead and smoke him, boom, now he's going to take 17 damage because that healer isn't there to heal him for 5. Let's see. We already placed 1 unit. Remember, because my artifact, if I place another unit, I'll get 3 more Ember. So let's go ahead and do that. We can't place the Train Steward here. Notice the red no sign. That's because each train has a capacity. Since there's not enough capacity, you see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total capacity. 4 is taken up by 2 from my Prince, 2 from my Steward. So I can't put the Train Steward here. Let's go ahead and drop him here. Boom, I got my bonus 3 Ember from that artifact I chose. So now I've got some extra Ember to use these other 2 cards. Otherwise I would have only been able to use 1. Does anybody need healing? He does, actually. Let's go ahead and give him a regen. Alright, you're accounted for. You're going to take 5 damage and then be killed by this Steward when you move up. You're going to take 17 damage. Let's take 2 off the top. It's still 17, but we took 2 off the 23. So it's still not enough to kill him, but it's better than nothing. You're dead. Enemy attacks first, attack him back. Enemy attacks first, attack him back. Boom, boom. Everybody moves up. We get a brief respite. That means that no new enemies came in. We get a moment to take care of our other fodder here. He's already dead because he's going to attack first for 2, but his 5 is going to kill him. So at a glance, you can just see -2, he's dead. -5, -2. If I want to hit him with a torch, that'll actually kill him because it'll bring his 6 down to 4. And now his 5 damage is going to take care of the rest, and he's dead. Does anybody need healing? Yeah, you can use some healing. We even have a train steward we can put down. Let's go ahead and just throw him here. We don't have any ember left, because if I had played a second unit, I only played this one train steward this turn. If I had another train steward to play, I would have gotten a bonus. See how it says up here, 1/2? I only played 1 unit, so I didn't get the bonus this turn. Doesn't matter. Everything's accounted for. Nobody needs restore. End the turn. Enemy goes first, then we go. Enemy goes first, we go. Alright, then you get the final wave. And this is where the champion appears. And as you can see, the math's already done for us. We're going to deal 36 damage to him, but both of our units are going to be dead. So how can we mitigate that? Well, before I explain why they're dead, because he only does 4 damage, right? Why are they going to die? Champions always have Relentless. Relentless means that when you end your turn, the enemy units and your friendly units are going to go back and forth dealing damage until one of them dies. By the end of that, he will have taken 36 damage. They will be dead. Let's see why that would happen, right? He would deal 4 damage. He can still attack. And then he can attack. And then this healer is going to heal him for 5 every turn. Well, why don't we ice the healer? Boom. Now that just went up to 41 damage. So I guess he was only going to get 1 heal out of it, because it went from 36 to 41. Can we mitigate that some more? Well, what if we give him some regen? Boom! Now he's going to die. Because even though he's going to die too, he's got some regen now. We can even stack some more regen. It doesn't really matter. So if you'll notice, pay attention. Every time he hits him for 4, regen's going to heal him that turn. And then he's going to do his 2 damage. He's going to hit him for 4, regen's going to heal him again. Actually, this second blow might kill him. Let's watch it play out. See, 4, 6, 2, 3, dead. Because that regen healed him once more. Boom! We got the killing blow from our champion. So that's pretty much how it works. We collect our 50 coins that we got from the cherub, and we'll get to choose 1 card from the available cards in each of these decks that we don't have. We can pick up imps. Imps are friendly units you can play. They only take up 1 train capacity. They only have 1 damage and 1 health, so they're kind of fodder, but as soon as you summon them, your friendly units, get 3 rage. What does rage mean? And then, it describes rage right there. They get 2 bonus damage. This actually kind of works out really well for my champion, because my champion strikes twice. Remember I mentioned that I'm partial to multi-strikes? Let's go ahead and take a look. He's multi-strike 1. For every multi-strike, you get an additional strike. So he already had 1 strike, so an additional strike is why it's times 2. If I were to summon this fledgling imp next to him, he gets rage 3. Rage, notice how it says rage right there? 2 per stack. So that's a stack of 3. That's a total of 6 attack. That 6 attack on top of his existing 6 makes it 12 times 2 for 24 damage. I'm doing a lot of math, but if you just play them here, let's pick up the fledgling imp. Our secondary card, we're gonna take Sharpen. It also adds, it does the same thing as Rage, but instead of Rage, the thing about Rage is that Rage decreases every turn. Sharpen doesn't. We can also enhance for 8, but then he'll take a -2 maximum health, and he's already kind of struggling on how much health he gets. Let's go ahead and pick up the Sharpen. Wow, we can actually, this might be even better, because this will give him 3 damage and 3 health. He already only has 6 health. Let's pick that up instead. This card is gold because I've completed a run with this card before. If it's not gold, it means I've never beaten the game with that card. Let's go ahead and pick up Steel Enhancer. And we'll do 1 more battle. How long have we been recording now? We're already at 20 minutes. Okay, let's do 1 more battle. Before you do the battle, you have to choose a route. If I choose this route, I'll get to forge my units to gain new powers. And I'll get to pick up a new unit. If I choose this route, I'll get bonus 75 gold, and I'll get to forge my spells. Let's go ahead and make units better, and let's pick up a new unit. We'll get an Awoken. Alright, we got the Thorned Hollow and Animus of Will. Which one do I like better? Well, this one takes up 3 capacity. And our starting capacities on the train's only 5. And this has multi-strike. We've already started building a multi-strike deck. And anything you pick up that enhances attack is going to be scaled up through multi-strike because it's doubled. For this unit, it's tripled. So I think this is the better pick, mainly because I would love to pick this card up for defense. I can put him in front of my champion, and now he's gonna tank 15 damage. But that Sharpen card we picked up also buffs health. Or I'm sorry, not Sharpen, Steel Enhancer. So we already got something buffing health. Let's go ahead and pick up the Animus of Will. Alright, and then we get to buff our units with our gold. We have 150 gold. Let's see. Ooh, this upgrade will add a capacity, so it'll make the unit bigger, but gives them 15 damage and 40. Whew. Oh my god. That is such a good upgrade for Animus of Will. It's ridiculous, because notice the 3 becomes 18, because this upgrade adds 15. 15 plus 3, 18 times 3. That's so much damage, and it's got 43 health. This card just became our tank card to protect our champion. These other upgrades are kind of okay. I'm going to leave this slot open for something better. I like to give these cheaper upgrades. That upgrade that I just gave that unit was a lot more. These cheaper upgrades, I'm going to make one of the train stewards a lot better. Boom. We don't have any upgrades left to buy. If we had more gold, we could re-roll for 50 for some more, but yeah, we clearly can't afford that. We could even pay 50 to purge a card to get it out of our deck. Later on, these starting cards become sort of worthless, like these 2 damage. You can start to get rid of these cards so that you get your other cards that are good faster. This is your modifier card that I chose specifically for my unit cards that I chose. So over time, these other cards are going to get less valuable, and you just want to get rid of them. And that's it. So those are the 2 things we got to choose. We could have chosen to upgrade spells and get more gold, but we didn't go that route. I'm happy with our decisions. Let's do another battle. Not gonna upgrade anybody, or I'm sorry, we're not gonna up the difficulty right now. All right, what do we got here? So we got 3 amber to spend. Oh man, we are absolutely gonna put down our prince because he's got front-loaded 12 damage. We can put down our Animus of Will. Boom! These guys are already dead. If you want to rewind the video to see how much. Well, it would have just been neutral at first. When I put him down, you would have seen a negative 12 from him. But as soon as I put this thing down, and notice our train capacity is full now because we upgraded this card and it takes up an extra capacity now. So we can't place anything else here, but we have this 43 health card that can now tank damage for us, and it's going to deal 18 times 3 plus 16 times 2. These things are wiped out. In fact, we can mitigate this 5 damage. We're going to take 5 damage. This thing only deals 1 damage. The reason why it's -5, it's because it's going to take 5 turns to kill these guys. So and the reason why it's going to take 5 turns is he's not a healer. He's not a healer. Let's go ahead and smoke him. Now nothing's dealing damage. He's not even going to deal damage now. He's still dead. We have our Steel Enhancer. So let's give it to... Since this strikes 3 times, we may as well enhance. Because if we enhance this, the 6 becomes 9, or we can make the 18 a 21. This is better because that 21 is times 3. That's better than times 2. So let's give the enhance to the thing that uses it 3 times. And then we have a train steward. Well, we know next turn we're going to get one of those little golden cherubs. It was at the top cart last time. Maybe it's going to be in the middle cart next time. We have no cards left. We have Ember left because we placed 2 units, but we placed 3 units, so we got a bonus from our artifact. End turn. Yeah, Golden Cherub spawned right in front of our train steward. I don't know if that if it was possible, it could be at the top card again. I just guessed this train car. So he's already accounted for. These guys are already dead. We're going to take 7 damage. Let's go ahead and kill the one that's going to deal some of that. Some of this 7 damage is coming from this one. If I were to guess, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is how that's going to play out. It doesn't matter. The math's already done for you. Let's just... Oh, also, this guy, if you notice, he has enchant. See how there's spikes in front of this enemy? Oh, some of the damage is going to come from these spikes. That's what it is. See how it does 2 damage? Let's go ahead and kill him. Boom! Now we're only going to take 2 damage because we got rid of the spikes. We got rid of the guy that does 1 damage. He's still going to deal... He's going to get his 1 turn because the enemy always goes first. That's where that 2 damage is coming from. So we don't have anything to kill him. So we're going to have... I can knock down 2 more, but it's not going to make a difference. He's still going to get his turn. Why even bother? I'll just let them kill him. There's nothing actually left to spend at all. Let's go ahead and stack some regen. Remember, 1 regen is going to heal him at the end of the turn. So 1 takes care of one of those. Another one takes care of the other. Now he has a 0. It should be... It's technically neutral. This means he's not going to be hit at all. This means he's going to be hit, but he's also going to be healed enough to mitigate that 2 damage. Boom. Man, our champion isn't even getting a... We're even getting a brief respite. Our champion isn't even getting a chance to attack. Oh, I don't even have room for my imp. If I put the imp down, the summon is apply rage 3. They would both get rage, which would just be ridiculous. Let's go ahead and give rage to our train steward. So notice how he's dealing 5. A stack of 3 rage, remember, is times 2. Tells you right there. 2 per stack. This is a stack of 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus this 5 is 11. He only strikes once, though. So that's why it's not... You don't see these... You know, he doesn't have multi-strike. And then this thing gets its own rage. It's a friendly unit, so it's going to deal 7. Because it was going to be 1, but it got 6 on top of that 7. So this is going quite well. Whenever the boss shows up, there he is. I'm sure we're going to wipe him out. Yep, he's dead. We don't even have to... We can just end our turn now. The way that's going to play out is that he's dead. He's going to take 26 damage. That's probably from the spikes that this guy's casting. So, boom, that just went down to 14. Again, we can just end the turn. It doesn't matter, but I'm just having fun mitigating some of that. So anyway, that's how all the cards play out. I probably gave a lot of information quickly. Again, when you're first starting out, you can just read the cards and see how they play out, and then once you get the hang of it, all this becomes second nature, and you do it without even thinking about it. Just look at the math that it does for you. Picked up our 50 gold. Ooh, we get some new imps. Since we don't really have a deck that's going to be based around imps, you'll get artifacts that can help you with imps. You can find cards that'll utilize your imps. Like you can sacrifice imps. We haven't picked any of that up yet, so I'm going to skip cards. And if you do that, you get a 10 gold bonus. Let's go ahead and do that. Do I want any of these? Ooh, we can get a sharpen, or we can get a razor sharp edge, which is even better. Instead of enhancing with 4 attack power, we can enhance with 8 at the cost of 2 health. But guess what? That other card we have, which is Steel Enhancer, gives you a +3. So that's a net +1. So this Steel Enhancer card supplements, or this Razor Sharp card, Razor Sharp Edge and that Steel Enhancer, they supplement each other. So this -2 penalty health, you make up for it with this +3. And we're just going to feed that to our Animus of Will. So we'll go ahead and pick up Razor Sharp Edge. So yeah, we don't want to cast spikes in any of our units. Spikes would be nice on our Animus of Will, but this card just, man, +8 times 3 on top of 18 front-loaded damage. This is no-brainer, Razor Sharp Edge. We'll go ahead and check out the next options, because this is actually this is interesting too. I should explain this real quick. So every subsequent battle, you have these different roads to choose from, and if you get through all of them, this is the end. This is the final challenge. If you can beat Seraph, then you've beaten the run, and Seraph is very difficult, but you're gonna have a crazy powerful deck by the time you get to that point if you choose cards that help other cards. On this particular battle that we're about to go to, we get to choose between roads again. There's a Caverns event, which is pretty fun. No matter which road we choose, we're going to get the Caverns event. If we choose this road, we get to forge units again, which don't need to do right now. I think it'd be nice to forge spells this time. And this road also heals our pyre, which hasn't taken any damage. So really this road is not ideal. So we're going to choose this road. Let's see what our Hellhorned unit is first. I was hoping for Demon Fiend. Demon Fiend is like my favorite Hellhorned unit. Oh man. Oh, so this would be a card that synergizes with imps. So notice how he costs 10 Ember. If you had an imp deck, this would be an obvious choice because every imp you put down makes him cost 3 less, so he'll make him affordable. And then he deals 100 damage, and he has 40 health, so he's like a tank. You can even fortify him with multi-strike if you find a multi-strike upgrade, so imagine 100 times 2. So you can see how that scales. We don't have imps, we're not going to choose him. He's not going to help us at all either. We're going to skip this and take the 10 gold. Let's upgrade some of our spells. So right off the top, we don't have any consume spells, do we? No, we haven't picked up anything that consumes. Consume spells, you'll see it. It'll say consume. If it's a consume card, you can only play it once that battle, and then you don't get it back again until your next battle. Any cards that you use, you get them back your next battle. If you play a unit and the unit dies, you don't get it back until your next battle. Spell cards that don't have consume, you do get back. So this upgrade would be to remove consume. And consume cards are usually pretty powerful. So to remove consume, to be able to use it over and over in a battle, you take a penalty that it costs 1 more. But usually, like I said, consume cards are better. So this is a great upgrade if I had a consume card. We can upgrade a spell to have plus 10 magic power. I said that later on you want to get rid of your starter cards, or you can upgrade them. So if I want to give one, see these little slots? These slots will upgrade the cards. Let's say I want to upgrade Torch. It'll take up one of the slots. Now it's a 12 damage Torch card. Let's go ahead and double down on that slot. These are cheaper upgrades, so that's why I play them on cheaper cards. Boom. Now this one Torch card that I have is free, and it does 12 damage. So later on when I get an opportunity to remove cards, actually I can do it now if I wanted to spend 50 gold, but there's other options. You'll get other events that like a flaming pit you can throw the card in. I would get rid of one of these torches that I didn't upgrade. We still have 100 gold. Let's go ahead and re-roll. So we have nothing left to buy. We don't have any consume cards. Let's re-roll. So that cost us 50. Now, holdover would have been fantastic. What holdover does, if you I can't afford it. If I were to play holdover, oh god. If I were to play holdover on enhance a unit, what holdover does is when you play a card that has holdover, you get it. It goes back into the top of your draw pile. So yeah, holdover. So if you read it right there, holdover. When played, this card is put back on the top of your draw pile. That means you get it right back. So we could upgrade a card that constantly, we get it every hand as long as we play it. And we could just constantly enhance our Animus of Will. So we're building like a pretty stacked deck already. Hopefully later I'll be able to afford holdover. For now I can't. I still want to upgrade something. I'm going to take another beefy torch. It spends a lot of gold, but right now, but we're going to earn more gold. So that's fine. Hopefully later we find holdover. Now we get to go to the cavern. Cavern events are fun. It's like your train makes a stop. Sometimes you pick up hitchhikers and you'll get new cards, or they'll join you, or you'll get like these little events that have lore and things about, the background of the story. I'm not going to read all of this right now, but you can just jump right to what your rewards are. Wow, I've actually never had this one. Most Blessed Sword, the Holiest Shield, and Petrified Skull. So notice how this card has an X on it for its cost. X cost cards, however much Ember you have left, this will use the rest of it. So if you had 1 left, if I had 3 left, notice what it does. See at the bottom it says deal 10x damage. If I had 1, it's going to deal 10 times 1, which is just 10. But if I had 3 left, which means I probably didn't play any cards that turn, or you can get Ember upgrades later on. Whatever Ember I have left, this eats up the rest of it and it multiplies it. What's the shield do? It does the same thing. It's an X card, but instead of multiplying it into damage, it multiplies it into damage shield. And if you don't know what damage shield, there it is right there in that descriptor to the left. It nullifies the next source of damage. So if you get hit by something that's powerful, doesn't matter how powerful it is, damage shield nullifies all of it. So that's pretty good, but I already have a pretty tanky Animus of Will that I don't think that's going to really benefit. This is pretty good because it deals damage to all the units. What's the skull do? Kill a non-bonus. Wow. Oh, this is a purge card. Purge cards, they're gone from your deck for the rest of combat. So it's a one-time use. I'm going to take the sword. I actually kind of like that because even if I have one Ember, I could play 10 damage to all the units on the floor. That's pretty good. And I don't really need the shield, so I'm going to take that sword. And that's it. So now we would go on to our next battle, and I'll go ahead and cut it short here. The last thing I'm going to say is that this third battle is actually a boss that when you defeat, you get a pyre upgrade. And a pyre upgrade lets you choose an Ember upgrade, so you'll have 4 per turn. You can do a card draw upgrade, so instead of drawing 5 cards, you draw 6. Or you can upgrade the capacity to each one of your train cars, so then you can fit more units. That's what she said, into your train cars. And, you know, however you're building your deck, that's the card you would want to choose. In my case, let's say that it were to end right now, I would probably choose the Ember upgrade, just so we could play more cards, or maybe even card draw, so that we can get to our good cards faster. Or if I expand the capacity by 1, I could play my Fledgling Imp with my Animus of Will and my Hornbrick, and then they'll get Rage 3. So, you know, these are what I mean by the game wants you to be creative, and if you think in your head what works with the other things that you've picked up, you'll find that your deck is going to be super powerful. All right, and to close it, I'm going to give you a teaser of this boss and what he does. It's kind of cool because he floats between the different train cars, and he drops these mines that you have to either destroy immediately, and if you don't, it sends like a blast of energy at your units. I don't have any units there, so it wouldn't matter. Yeah, and that's how you play this game. I mean, there's a lot more to it. The other decks do totally different things, and that's what keeps me playing this game. That's why I love deck builders so much, because every time you play it, you can choose between different decks and then just be presented with a puzzle that you have to solve by choosing the correct cards and just read what they do. Hope that explains it. How long did we go here? Yeah, it was almost 40 minutes, so I'll cut it here. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll even make another video. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to record the rest of this run, and if you want, I'll upload that too, and you can watch that video if you like. I'll upload that as a secondary video. All right, thanks for watching.